So today we're going to be talking about 10 high-paying jobs for seniors. Just because you are a senior citizen does not mean you are no longer a valuable member of the job market, and it does not mean that you can't still make good money. So today we're going to talk about 10 high-paying jobs for senior citizens that you can do regardless of your background. Regardless of what your career was formerly, these are 10 jobs that you can do and still make some good money, be it just to add a little money to your Social Security or your retirement, whether you want to give the grandkids a good Christmas, whether some unexpected bills came up, wherever you're still looking for a job, whatever it is, you can do these jobs. You know, some of them might not be for everyone, but that's why we're listing 10. There should at least be 5 or 6 on the list that appeal to everyone. Let's get started. Let's jump right into it. The first one is one that kind of surprised me. I hadn't thought about when I was researching this video. The first one is substitute teacher. Teachers are in very high demand these days. We're not going to get into the reasons why, there's a shortage of teachers, but I was watching a video the other day that they're shipping in teachers into the United States from other countries. That's how bad they need teachers. You may not want to be a full-time teacher, but a substitute teaching gig, pretty easy to get. You really don't need any kind of special degree or anything like that. I think they just kind of call you down there, interview you. If you're a decent person and you can stand to be around the kids, you get the job. And it's pretty flexible. You work when you want to work. If they call you up and you don't want to work, they move down the substitute teacher list. If you do like children, it's a great job, and the national average is somewhere around $15 an hour for substitute teachers. Now keep in mind, all jobs are kind of region specific. So all these jobs on the list, one part of the country might make a higher amount than another part of the country. So you kind of have to do your research, but the national average is around $15 an hour for a substitute teacher, which is not bad. So check your local school district. You can probably just go up to the nearest school by you and just ask to talk to someone in the office and just say, hey, how do I get on the substitute teacher list? What do I need to do? Seems like a pretty easy job to get started in and pretty flexible hours. The second one is Uber or Lyft driver. Now, of course, for this one, you're probably going to need your own vehicle, even though I do think the Uber and Lyft have started to kind of let people rent cars to use. So you might not have to drive your own vehicle, but you might want to drive your own vehicle. But you do have to, have a driver's license, know how to drive, and be comfortable, following a GPS, using a smartphone, and having people in the car with you. Now, if you can get around all of those things, this is a great kind of part-time job. I was in Bozeman, Montana, taking an Uber to the airport just a couple weeks ago. And I was talking to an Uber driver. He was a gentleman in his mid-60s, and he said he drives Uber just to kind of give him a reason to get out of bed in the morning. Because he was like, I can get lazy, I'll stay in bed all day, which isn't good, especially at my age. So he was like, I know if I get up and I turn on my Uber app, and the rides start coming in, I gotta get up, I gotta get showered. Gives me something to do. He doesn't do it all day long. I could tell he really didn't need the money, but he was one of those people, he just kind of did it, gave him something to do, and he was like, I get to meet cool people all the time. So, I think we're moving towards a much more app, gig-based economy, where things are going to be ran through apps. There's going to be a lot more gig jobs, a lot more contract jobs. If you can get in and kind of learn how all of this works, I think you'll do better in the future than some people. So, Uber and Lyft driver, you can just download the app. There'll be a link on the app that says Drive for Us. Go there, get started. Not very hard to do. Make yourself some extra money. Third one, another one that requires a vehicle, or you might be able to use a company vehicle, is Floral delivery. People still buy flowers. Someone still has to deliver them. Nice, easy gig. Just drive around dropping off flowers. Usually you don't have to drop off flowers to weird people or bad neighborhoods, and it's just, a lot of times it'll probably be part-time. Maybe they're just looking for a backup delivery driver or weekend driver or something like that. So you can just go around to your local floral shops and just say, hey, you need a delivery driver. And of course, this extends to other forms of delivery driver as well. There's lots of places, Chinese restaurants, pizza places, lots of places looking for delivery drivers. They're really not going to be too concerned about age. Can you drive a car? Can you drop a package off at a door? Can you drop some flowers off at a door? Can you drop some Chinese food off at somebody's door and take money? So delivery jobs always been out there, and the average for, at least for like Floral delivery drivers, somewhere around $14 an hour, the national average. So not bad money to just drive around in the air conditioning and brighten people's day up. Number 4. So one of the jobs they always talk about when it comes to seniors working is like retail. And they're like, you're not going to want to be the Wal-Mart greeter when you're 60, which is true. A lot of people might not want to be. But there are other retail jobs that are a lot more appealing. One that came to mind was like thrift store or consignment shop worker. Every time I'm in the thrift store, there's some nice older ladies in there chatting it up, talking. A lot of the people who come in there just to shop, quote unquote shop, are really just there to like talk, chat, socialize. It seems like a great environment. I like going in there, and I really feel like thrift stores and consignment shops are booming as traditional retail disappears and it falls away to like online sales and things like that. I think the only kind of retail that's going to last is secondhand. People are looking for deals. People are looking for bargains. People have a lot of stuff they want to put on consignment because they need the money. So I think thrift stores, consignment shops, secondhand stores, all of those are on the rise, and they're going to need people to work there. And it's pretty easy work. You just people bring stuff in, you sift through it, put it on the shelf, put a sticker on it with the price, talk to people, run the register. Pretty easy. And that's one, you can just take a day and go around to all the places like that in your town and just say, hey, you need somebody part-time? Yeah, you need somebody to come in on weekends, a couple days a week? And not only do you have a job, but it's a pretty social environment. You might make some new friends. Moving on. Number 5 would be temp office worker. Now, temp agencies get a bad rap. Me personally, I swear by them. I mention them in a lot of my videos on this channel, especially for people looking for jobs. Temp agencies know where all the work is, and so they're a great conduit to finding it. They have contacts you'll never have. But every time I do a video and I mention temp agencies, I get comments where people say they're scams, things like that. So you have to be kind of mindful of which temp agency you use. But one of the staple jobs they always have is the need for temporary office workers. Sometimes it's on a day-to-day basis. Sometimes it's like a weekly or a couple-week contract. But they always need people to just sit behind a desk, either like answer the phones, do data entry, things like that. These are not hard jobs. You're in the air conditioning or the heat, depending on the time of year. You're sitting down. It's not labor intensive. And you just kind of, for a couple days or for a couple weeks, do a little office work. Not hard at all. Now, the amount you're going to get paid varies on this type of job, depending on the company, the contract is through, the temp agency you work for, things like that. But you can, and I've seen this firsthand basis, you can stumble across some really good ones where they're paying you like $14 an hour to just like answer phones. Because a lot of times the companies base what they pay their temporary worker on what they pay the person who actually does that. So if, the person who actually does that job, who's gone for 3 weeks, so they need a replacement, a temp, is making $24 an hour, they're not going to mind paying you $16. Good money to just sit and run the receptionist desk. So that's something to look into. I recommend going to temp agencies anyway. If you're looking for a job, go to the temp first thing, find all the temp agencies in your town, sign up, go through the interview process, and then just kind of tell them, I'm looking for just a little office job, or I'm looking to work 1 day a week, or I'm looking to work a few months out the year. Tell them what you want to do, and they will, if it's a good temp agency, make that work for you. But I definitely recommend like temp office worker. It's some of the easiest money around. Next, moving on. Number 6 is, here's one that I hadn't thought of, election polls workers. There are so many elections in this country, local, national, all the ones in between. They need people to run the polls on election day and to do a lot of stuff leading up to election day. They need people to do this. The research I came up with said that maybe the average nationally around $120 a day, something like that. Now, when the poll day is in full swing, when it's busy, it's going to be very busy. But a lot of the days leading up to election day and the busy periods, you're probably not going to be doing that much work. Plus, once you get in and they know the system and what to do, every time there's an election, they're going to call you. So you can, even though you won't be working, all the time, you can get some good work out of, just going one election period, learning the ropes, and then every election after that, they'll probably call you. Or if you call them, they'll be happy to take you. And that's not bad money. Some cities I saw, like New York City, they make up to like $200 a day. So something to look into if you're just looking for something part-time that's not all the time. And once again, that one seems like it'd be pretty social. You'll meet a lot of people and make some money in the process. Now, moving on, number 7 is one that might not be for a lot of people. I know it's definitely has never been for me, definitely won't be for me when I'm in my 60s, and that's babysitter, childcare. But there are some people who really love kids. And I feel like there's a lot of parents who, instead of leaving their child with a teenager, would much rather leave them with someone with years of experience raising kids. You've raised your kids probably. You helped your kids raise their kids. Might even have some great grandkids on the way. So they would much rather leave their child with you than someone who's never raised any kids. And babysitting's another one. You can make some good money. If they know you're going to take it, like what price is, it's hard for a parent to try to talk you down when it comes to you watching their child. What is too much if I know I can go out, come back, and my kid's going to be safe? So you can make some really good money, especially if you get some good clients. Once or twice a week, they may need you. Maybe they need someone to watch their kid after school. Maybe there's some kids in the neighborhood. They just need them to come over there and sit for a couple hours after school till they get off work. You don't have to watch bad kids. You get to pick the kids you watch, set your own rate, and you can make some good money. In a lot of cases, you don't even have to leave the house. They can just come over to your house or play out in your front yard. You're making money just sitting at home. So, I know initially the idea of babysitter might seem like, something crazy or something beneath you, but if you think about it, there's really some good money to be had in it. And it also allows you to, get to know some younger people in your neighborhood. Maybe you have some wisdom. Well, you definitely have some wisdom that these kids can benefit from that they're not going to get from anywhere else. That's another job to look into. Another one that is very social is being like a companion. If one of the reasons you want a job is to get out and talk to people, you get bored just sitting in the house. There are unfortunately a lot of people in the same age bracket, people 60s and up, people even older, 70s, 80s, who maybe life wasn't as kind to them in the latter years. People suffering from dementia, people with certain health ailments, some people just lonely. But there is a need for companions for people, companions for other seniors. And a lot of times, some people, they just need someone to talk to, maybe a reminder to take their meds. Some people need someone to cook for them. Some people have trouble getting around. They need people to help them get in their wheelchair, in and out of bed, things like that. People to go with them to doctor appointments. There's so many different things. And there are lots of agencies out there who hire people to do just that. Is to be a companion for people who need help. And it isn't always an age thing. Sometimes there's people, all ages, who need someone to help them out. And you can build some great relationships, meet some awesome people. And while this one might be a little more, depending on who you're assisting, a little more labor intensive at times, a lot of it is just sitting around enjoying someone else's company. Just being there for someone else. So you can build some real lasting friendships, and you get paid for it. So that's a win-win. In my book, that's a win-win. I'm sure you could just do a Google search for companion services in your area and call them up, go by there and just ask them kind of what are the requirements for the job, and then go through whatever process is needed. Now, here is another one that I personally have done in the past. That's why I wanted to put it on this list. Maybe not as high paying as some of the other jobs, but it's call center worker. Now, I know this may not be the most glamorous job, but you're not looking for glamour. You know, you was looking for glamour 40 years ago. Not looking for glamour, just looking for some money. Call center workers probably average anywhere from $9 to $12 an hour. And I'm not talking about like telemarketing. I'm talking about call centers where people call in when they have problems with their computer or their cable, or whatever it is. So many different call centers. The cool thing is these days, sometimes these call centers allow you to work from home. You just download whatever special software they have, and all you need is a phone at your house and a computer. You can work from home. If not, you may have to go down to the call center and actually work in a call center. But like I said, I've done this in the past. It's not hard work. The first couple weeks are the hardest, but once you learn, the script, what you're supposed to say, and you've helped people troubleshoot, like most of the calls are the same. Like once a day you get a weird call, but most of the calls, the people have the same questions. You learn how to fix 80% of the problems on your own. And then you have a manager you can escalate to if it gets harder. You can transfer them to different departments. It's not hard at all. You really just have to get used to talking all day long. But it's, once again, you're sitting inside, you're not out in the elements, you're just talking to people. If you're good at talking with people, if you're good at calming people down, it might be a great job. And like I said, $10 an hour to sit around all day and just talk on the phone, not a bad gig. Now, our last one, number 10, is one that is a little harder, but I wanted to add this on the list because there's nothing that says as a senior you can't be your own boss, that you can't be an entrepreneur. So I put freelance writer on the list. So basically, you write articles, sell them to magazines, blogs, things like that. Also, you can, there are sites on the internet. There's one I personally use called Hub Pages that you basically are your own boss. You just write articles, upload it to the site. If they accept it, it goes live and you can make money off the ad revenue that they make off the article. I'll leave a link to that in the description box. But freelance writer, basically if you enjoy writing, maybe you never had the time to write before in your life. Now you got plenty of time. There's nothing that says you can't start up a lucrative writing career while you're sitting around with nothing else to do, or when you're bored. Those moments when you get bored, you get lonely, you get kind of depressed, start writing. And there's lots of, if you just Google how to be a freelance writer, tons of articles will come up, and you can it could be a whole new career. Start it, just in your free time. So I wanted to add that one. It's kind of different from all the other ones, but I always like to have some form of entrepreneurial message in all of my job videos. Nothing wrong with working for someone else, but there's nothing that says we can't work for ourselves. So those are 10 high-paying jobs for senior citizens. If you check the description box, you will see the list of all of these, as well as any extra links I threw in there. Be on the lookout for that link to Hub Pages for writing articles. Also, if you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comment box. And if you have any other high-paying jobs for seniors that you want to mention, please share that with the rest of us. Put them in the comment box below. Also, my social medias will be in the comment box. If you want to, for some reason, follow me or ask me questions that way, feel free to follow me, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all of that. You can ask me any questions you want on there as well. Anyway, I'm Tim. Thanks for watching this video. Talk to you later.